Good afternoon, Trace. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. So I had a few people in my comments yesterday asking me if I did any type of mentorship program. And I just want to make it perfectly clear where I am with my trading journey so far. So at the moment, I have about a year's worth of profitability on my swing trade account. Day trading just wasn't my kind of thing, so I've been just switching to what really seems to be working for me, which is swing trading. Um, so I don't believe that I'm in the position yet, considering I only have 1 year under my belt, where I believe that I could really effectively train somebody on how to trade. Now, I've been doing trading since roughly about high school, so I have about, I would say, 10 years of experience under my belt, technically, but not. I didn't start taking my trading seriously until about a year ago. So I just want that you guys to keep that in mind. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description for the Discord that I'm going to be creating. And this is just going to be to run ideas off each other, share trades that we're looking at, and just to overall learn from each other. So that link's going to be in the description. Please like, subscribe, comment. But without further ado, let's get into it. So today I'm going to be going over the major indexes, specifically the Magnificent Seven, and just telling you guys what I'm really watching this week. So Apple, what I'm going to be watching for Apple is if Bears have more continuation, I believe that you have a potential to push down to 180, 170, and 169. Um, if this type of selling continues, this could be a retest, a dead cat bounce of 187.45. But if we can break above 187.45, I believe that we can get a push back to 198.23, maybe to push all-time highs. So if we get above 187.45, I might consider opening a position in Apple, but I have to see what ends up happening this week. Also, remember that this week's a shortened week, so banks and institutions might not be trading as heavily. But if Apple starts really to sell off, I'm looking for that 200 EMA ideally. If we get down to the 200 EMA at 150, 143, then that'll be a golden opportunity of a lifetime. But I doubt that we're going to get that much selling. Microsoft, I have a position currently in them. The level that I'm watching right now is if we get a push back down to 384.30, get a retest of that, and then a push upwards is ideally what I'm looking for. If we get a daily close below 384.30, I'll be pulling out of my Microsoft position. My max risk right now is at 377.78. So no matter what ends up happening, if it hits that price, I'm out. It just fits my risk criteria in order to keep my trades profitable. Now, if we do get some more upside, if we push to 400, then I'm going to be setting my stop loss to break even and doubling my position on Microsoft. So that's why I'm going to be watching this week for that. NVIDIA, I also have a position in NVIDIA. What I'm ideally looking for in NVIDIA is if I did a Fibonacci extension from pivot low to the pivot high of the consolidation point, which is right here roughly, is a major pivot point. If we can push, I would expect a move to 583.85. So mostly 584, 575. If the bullish price action continues, daily's looking a little weak at the moment. If we go to the daily, you can see a little bit of consolidation going on. It could be getting ready to push back down to maybe 536 or 520, maybe even 505.48. Personally, my stop loss is set to break even, and I double my position on NVIDIA. So my if 520 gets hit, I'm out. But I'm expecting to find support at 536 if we do sell. Maybe consolidate in this area for a while between 560, 540. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some consolidation. To be honest, it would be for the best. It would be healthy. We're not extended extremely, but we're getting there. But that's what I'm going to be watching on NVIDIA. Meta is just an absolute beast lately. Let's flip to the weekly. So on Meta, what I'm going to be looking for is a push to 384.33 all-time highs. If we can get above there, then I might be interested. I just think personally that Meta is starting to get a little extended. I don't know what it looks in the daily. It's not looking terrible, but it's kind of the same story with NVIDIA. It's not really extended, but it's getting there. So I'll just keep an eye on Meta, specifically the price level of 360. If we get a retest, get a push back down, that would be a nice bounce on the previous pivot high, then a push upwards further. But it seems to be really respecting the 50 and on the 100 EMAs at the moment. So just I would really watch for all-time highs. If it breaks above that with heavy volume, then I'll definitely be interested. Tesla, when we're watching on Tesla this week, is if we can get a push down to 194, then I'll be interested in getting in. Because we broke down 226.44, I think two things could happen. Either we get a push down to 194, we bounce and start heading towards 226, 252.75 again, get a double bottom. Or the second scenario is we end up just bouncing off this 200 SMA. As you can see here, it's been a big level of support lately. We do have heavy volume on the weekly, not as high as I'd like to see it, but still high enough where it could create a bounce. But until we get above 226.44, I'm staying bullish. I mean bearish on Tesla. Google, what I'm going to be watching on Google is I know on the daily it's been giving a lot of false signals, so I'd really just keep an eye on the weekly on Google. We had a bull flag right here, broke out, so I'm expecting a push to 151.55. I would not be shocked if we hit all-time highs this week. Whether we break it or not is a different story. But if we do break all-time highs, I might be interested in getting in. SPX, main levels to watch on SPX this week is going to be 4,700 and 4,800. You get bearish below 4,700, bullish above 4,800. We're kind of just in a limbo right now until we can get out of 4,700 to 4,800 range. I would just hold off. If we break 4,700, I'm not going to go short, but I'm definitely going to cut back on some of my positions possibly. It depends on how they play out. I don't really use indexes too much to place my trades. I put a little bit of weight on them, but not an extreme amount, just because a lot of my trades are separate from the indexes. And then Amazon, the levels I'd watch on Amazon is if we can stay, it looks like that it wants to push up further. I'd watch a gap fill at 164.06. If we go to the daily, you can see that there's a decent gap right here. So you might get a gap fill rejection at first of 164. I just keep that in mind. We're just barely above this range right here at 154.42. So that's going to be a critical level. If you can hold that, then I would expect more upside. But I think that you might just consolidate or push back down to 149.26, retest, and push back up. Personally, that's just my opinion on Amazon. And then the NASDAQ. What I'm going to be watching on the NASDAQ, we'll flip to the weekly, is if you get below 14.5, I believe that you can get some major downside. If you can get above 15,000, then you could definitely get substantial upside on the NASDAQ. And I believe that the Qs and the Qs and SPY will definitely follow. But that's what I'm going to be watching for this week, guys. And good luck out there.